baby. S-D-P. The Steve Dangle Podcast. With your hosts, Steve Dangle, Adam Wilde, and Jesse Blake.
Let's go!
That's how I'm feeling.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay? Did you have a bad sleep?
I had a bad sleep.
Oh.
And then, but I'm not going to lie, man. I don't know if I'm the only one who's like this, or maybe I just need to toughen up. But last week really got to me.
Yeah?
Yeah. Last week really got to me.
Week.
Heavy week.
It's emotionally exhausting. It creeps up on you.
And I say that being a guy who just read about it and then talks about it with his friends in his basement. But like, wow, man, a lot. And there's more today because reps from all 32 NHL teams, I believe at present, at time of recording, are meeting with NHLPA head Donald Fehr to discuss the mishandling of the Kyle Beach situation.
That's today too.
That is today. And then, of course, at 1 o'clock?
1 o'clock today.
Gary Bettman has decided to throw a news conference where he'll say probably nothing. But what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and record our show. And we'll do our press conference and stuff. And if there's Gary to add on the end of it, then that's where we'll put it. If anything happens, I bet.
Or we'll just record Wednesday.
Yeah. I mean, like, listen, here's the thing. I don't expect Gary to say much. He never does. It's not like you never hear Gary Bettman bombshell admission. No. He's going to be like, here's why I made Joel Quenneville resign, and it's going to be sanitized sentence. Here's why Stan Bowman resigned, sanitized sentence. Here's why Shovel Dayoff didn't resign, pass the buck.
I don't think he's even going to say any of that.
If he even says their names. I don't even know.
Shocked.
Well, you got to think the reporters in there are going to ask anyway, right? He's going to have to say something.
And he's going to be like the Matrix. Question dodge. Question dodge.
So, well, and
anyway, what I like about hockey is it's played on ice.
Yeah. Shovel Dayoff's conference isn't until tomorrow. And the number one question, the very first overall question should be, so why'd you lie? Remember that time you lied?
He didn't lie.
That's true.
The statement was confusing enough that he can get through anything.
No, okay. Well, then, okay, so I'm in the room.
Yummy.
I'm in the room. If any reporters who are going to be in that room are listening to this, please read the statement back to him and go, what did you mean by that?
It means exactly what it says.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Steve, for your question. Next.
That would be a great response to that question.
But all these people are
he used the truth to lie.
They're so well coached that, and there's such like a media empire around all these sports teams, all of these executives, that they're never going to say anything that they don't intend to say.
I don't know. I watched that clip back to see, like, did I make a mistake here? Mm-hmm. But no, he said I didn't know about it until we all knew about it. At the exact moment we were accused of knowing about it.
Which could have been at any point in history.
And let's Kyle Beach, that seems pretty tough. Anyway, I didn't know. That's how every sentence.
Oh, you think he's going to say his name?
That's how it always. Oh no, he won't say his name. But I mean, didn't the most recent statement did actually finally mention Kyle Beach? Like better than Stan Bowman.
From who?
I think it was from Shovel Dayoff.
Okay, because there's been 80 statements and all of them have been the same vagueness.
Yeah. But so. I do think that he did mention Kyle Beach. I think Joel Quenneville mentioned him too. There's been a lot to read, to be honest with you. But the reality of it is that as these things so often are, it's unsatisfactory. However, the good thing in this is that it's a reminder that we have got to put different processes in place, and that's the key here going forward.
Yeah.
I actually talked to Rick Westhead on Saturday. He just checked in before he was going up to a friend's cottage to get a break, and we were talking about different reports and stuff like that. And he told me this, and I didn't know this, that and this is an attitude that prevails throughout the game. This is a national broadcast. CBC The National talked to George Larocque about this, and he said, well, it was a different time. Ooh. And when Sheldon Kennedy went through this, well, it was a different time. That was the 90s. And when Theo Fleury went through this, well, it was a different time. It was the 80s. And this isn't to criticize CBC, and I hope Rick doesn't hate me for that was the conversation we had. It was about the conversation around this, how this actually has to change this time. Because here's the thing, this will happen again. There's nothing that you can do, at least not yet, to prevent this completely. The question is, when it happens, how do we report it so it doesn't happen like a string of times, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, long story short, we got to move on from the it was a different time mentality because it's not a different time. It's that part remains the same. Now,
can I relay some good stuff that came out of it over the weekend from Katie Strang?
Yeah.
So she's been working on a story since 2020 about another sexual abuse case that happened in Chicago with another hockey coach. And this weekend, this is from her tweet, she said, someone came forward with critical new information on this case. The thing that tipped the scales for them, Kyle Beach's interview. Just another example of the tangible impact Kay Beachy has had on others in hockey community and beyond.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So there's a huge breakthrough in this case just because of Kyle Beach.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Now, from Greg Wishinski, obviously the players are meeting with Donald Fehr today, all 32 representatives. Alex Kerfoot would be the Leafs representative. Wish tweeted this out on the 30th, which would be Saturday. From an NHL veteran today ahead of Monday's NHLPA call from team reps. Quote, I think the boys are pissed. Real anger with Fehr over Kyle Beach thing. And Donald Fehr released a statement in case you're wondering. Listen, I'm not expecting enlightened sentence structure over a text message from anybody, let alone an NHL player.
Who is that from?
NHL veteran.
Oh, so
we don't know. Oh, okay. But it's Greg Wishinski that tweeted it, and he said, ahead of Monday's NHLPA call, I think the boys are pissed. Real anger with Donald Fehr over Kyle Beach thing. Now, Donald Fehr released a statement, and I think it's important that you hear this. And depending upon when you hear this episode, it'll be interesting to see what has come out.
I think
because I also believe he's gone too. Yeah. But I'll read this. Kyle Beach has been through a horrific experience and has shown true courage in telling his story. There is no doubt that the system failed to support him in his time of need, and we are part of that system. So already, in terms of statements, if we were to power rank statements, that's the best one. Because at least he acknowledged Kyle Beach.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep.
And then the statement in his media interview, Mr. Beach stated that several months after the incident, he told someone at the NHLPA details of what happened to him. He's referring to one of the program doctors with the NHLPA player assistant program. While this program is confidential between players and the doctors, the grave nature of the incident should have resulted in further action on our part. The fact that it did not happen was a serious failure. I am truly sorry, and I am committed to making changes to ensure that it does not happen again. So that to me is, well, it's not my fault. And
well, we're part of that. I'm like, part? You're the head of the NHLPA.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think they probably, like, I mean, dude, you are the head. So whether or not it was the doctor's fault or not, he still reports to you. You still created these systems. You still need to be well aware of them. And I'm very, very curious to see what the reaction from the player call is going to be. But I don't see how Don Fehr survives this.
No. And supposedly he was sort of on the way out anyway.
Was he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the impression I've gotten. And this, I think, will accelerate that process.
Interesting. Wow. Well, we said we would update you on where it's at, so that's where it's at right now. Obviously, the situation is still ongoing, and there's more information every day, and this and this and this. But we do have to, we have other things. There are things to talk about.
Of course.
And we're going to talk about them. So I'm going to take a hard right-hand turn, as we always call it, and we're going to get into where Toronto Maple Leaf fans are at.
Okay.
Now, let me tell you this. This is going to make you laugh. This is where Toronto fans are at. Toronto fans are just a little jumpy. I among them. Mm-hmm. I could speak for myself on that one.
Little jumpy.
And when Michael Amadio was claimed by Vegas, I don't know if you know this, but Amadio made the team. Adam Brooks did not. Adam Brooks put on waivers. Montreal claims Adam Brooks. Adam Brooks plays 10 minutes on Saturday night in the third line center role. Amadio was supposed to be here and be a bit more of a tough presence, right? Bigger guy, that sort of thing. Couldn't find a thing. Steve kind of nailed it a few episodes ago. What exactly would you say you do here? And he's on waivers, and then he's off to Vegas. Now, the rumor all afternoon on Saturday was that Vegas and Buffalo were down the road on a trade. And after Amadio was claimed, everybody was like, oh, I wonder what that means. And I just retweeted, I think it was Elliot Friedman's tweet, and just said, Eichel to Toronto confirmed.
Right.
And people were extremely upset.
Like they legitimately, they conflated that as you being serious.
Yes. I'm not sure how, but I'm telling you guys, I heard from so many people that I have never seen before. They don't follow me. I don't think they've ever heard of the podcast. And people are like, get a fucking hobby, bro. It's like, I don't know. I thought it was literally a throwaway tweet, like something stupid and like, oh yeah, I go to Toronto. And ignoring the fact that cap implications, having just signed Morgan Rielly, there's no way Toronto could accommodate that. But beyond that, what? Really?
How much of the ugly Torontonian, or I guess the ugly Leaf fan stereotype, is literally just Torontonians and Leaf fans fucking with people?
Oh, it could be. I don't know. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm responsible for that.
Someone has that caricature in their head, and then you do a joke based on that, and they go, see, it's real! Dumbass thinks Jack Eichel is going to the Leafs? Fuck you! Like, it just...
Yeah.
How on earth?
I've never broken any news in my entire life. I've never broken any news. But I don't know.
You get a hobby. You get a hobby. Adam had one, and he's like, well, I'm going to make money off of it, so now it's not his hobby anymore. You get a hobby.
Anyway, Morgan Rielly signs for 8 years, $7.5 million per season, $60 million contract.
I like it. Want to talk about Amadio and the Leafs' ability to lose every player that might be useful on waivers?
I guess we can hit on that first.
We can do Rielly?
Yeah, sure.
Because you were, I thought the interesting thing about that was when you were texting us in our group chat about you were trying to run down all of the players that they lost.
Me and Steve, we went through the list.
It's a fantastic list of useful guys.
Yeah,
Dubas, what's going on?
So Holland, I think, was before Dubas's time.
Yeah.
And I can't remember.
And Babs was never going to play him.
No. But three goalies, which is wild. Aaron Dell most recently, and Calvin Pickard and Curtis McElhinney on the same day.
Yeah.
Michael Amadio.
Mm-hmm. Hutchison, once, and then they got him back. Right?
No, they didn't lose him on waivers.
They traded him for like a 4th round pick to Colorado.
And then they re-signed him back this.
Yeah. Okay. Jimmy Vesey. They've lost
Adam Brooks.
We
were trying to figure out whether it was Carrick or I thought maybe that
he was a trade.
And I thought Josh Levo, but they didn't waive Josh Levo. But I think they did put him on waivers at one point. I believe they traded him to Vancouver.
I don't remember.
Okay, that's not lost on waivers.
Not yeah.
Yeah, no, there are a few guys who they lost for like next to nothing.
And it's like, you look at the list, McElhinney won. That hurts.
That hurt. But outside of him, I'm looking at the list and I'm like, maybe I shouldn't be that upset. Brooks hurts.
Why does it hurt?
He's a good player.
Because here's the thing. When I'm going through the articles this morning, and Dom Ducharme didn't trust Adam Brooks to do much of consequence. He might have played 10 minutes, but he's the 3rd line center. He should be able to play more than that. And they couldn't put him in any situation for any. It was all just very neutral situations.
Couldn't or didn't?
Can he blow through? Well, it's Dom Ducharme.
That team sucks.
Right.
Yeah.
And a player's role is usually just like fit on a team. Maybe he has a better fit in Toronto where he could have played more. Yeah. And for the Adam Brooks thing with me is like, okay, you lost 2 guys instead of losing 1. Like you could have lost Amadio in at the beginning of the season. You could have kept Brooks.
They got some useful games out of him.
Yeah, but then you could have just kept Brooks and he'd be here now. And then instead of losing 2 guys, you lose 1.
I think, you know how we always talk about the buoy? Mm-hmm. They always had the Kirill Semyonov failsafe. Mm-hmm. Where, okay, we're going to try to do this. Hopefully we don't lose Brooks. Ah, shit. Okay, we lost Brooks. All right. We're going to try to not lose Amadio. Ah, shit, we lost Amadio. All right, well, Semyonov has the waiver flexibility, so now it's your time with the team. Because they did some weird cap stuff yesterday.
They did. They sent like Liljegren and a few other people back and then brought them back up again.
Yeah, Liljegren and Hutch down, Joey Anderson and Kirill Semyonov up.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if either are even going to play.
Is Joey Anderson, I mean, especially after the game, and we'll talk about this, Liljegren had, you know it's a paper move because he's going to play.
He was great.
He was.
I really liked him.
We'll hold off on that because that goes into a bigger discussion I'd like to have. But that's you think Liljegren's going to be back. Like 100%. That was a paper move, and that is what it is.
I sure hope.
So we don't hate the list.
I don't think
the list of guys that are gone. Yeah.
Like, are we like, oh fuck?
Peter Holland.
The Stanley Cup hinges on Jimmy Vesey. Like, no.
Okay.
McElhinney hurt. but I can see, and we said it at the time, I didn't love it, but Garrett Sparks had been like unbelievable in the AHL, and you had Calvin Pickard too, and you think you're trying to squeak guys through in training camp, right at the end of training camp, and you don't think you're going to lose 2 goalies in the same day.
No, the theory there was, okay, McElhinney is older and coming off easily the best season of his career. There's no way he's going to replicate that. Goalies, no one ages like wine.
Yeah,
in
unless
athletics.
you're Mike Smith.
Yeah, it's very rare. Most of them age like milk, especially beyond 35. It's true.
Bagged or jugged?
Yes.
Okay.
So, no, bagged is superior, so that would last longer.
Okay, there you go.
So, obviously. And Garrett Sparks, just coming off goalie of the year, the Calder Cup.
You know you're going to lose him.
Draft pick, homegrown. Yeah, well, not only do you know you're going to lose him, but let's pretend they keep McElhinney. Sparks goes to some other team. They lose him for nothing. He's young. Then he's great. And McElhinney ages like milk because he's over 35. Everyone is
Which was the most likely outcome.
Well, like based on just historical hockey odds.
Yes.
And people would be able to easily go, Kyle, you dumbass. What did you think was going to happen? And then the exact opposite happened. And everyone went, Kyle, you dumbass. Like that, to me, that's one of those situations where
can't blame him for it.
He made a bet and he lost. And a lot of people would have made the same bet. And
logically, it holds. And sometimes you get burned by logic. Yeah. Right? I mean, it's. I'll talk about this a little bit later, but the expected goals, and I know what people are going to say who are anti-stats, but like the Leafs' expected goals were like, I think the Leafs are 12 under their expected goals for the year. 12. Like, well, tell me you're on a cold streak without telling me you're on a cold streak, right?
Steve, tell them about the phony chances.
I will. Okay, because the Leafs are worst in the league at minus 12.
Yeah.
The Blackhawks are second worst at minus 11. So which is it? The Leafs are unlucky and the Blackhawks are bad. That's what I keep hearing. Which is it?
You got me there, man. I don't know.
Maybe the Leafs are bad and the Blackhawks are unlucky.
The Blackhawks did come in with a fair amount of fanfare. We'll talk about them later. I do have them lined up as a segment, but like they came in with some expectations. Yeah, we can talk about it. We can talk about it.
I don't know.
So let's get into Morgan Rielly. Because this created some contentious debate. And I got to tell you, most people are pretty great. But I have the last couple of weeks, I've noticed there's been serious vitriol thrown in a way that I haven't ever seen.
I think that's just your Twitter account.
It might be.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm more effective at muting people.
Maybe I need to be. I've been shocked. I've been like, what? I don't know what changed.
I don't know why people pick on you.
I don't know if they do. I think maybe I'm not really sure. I don't know what it is. I'm not really sure. But there have been a couple of tweets where I've been like, man, and
serious.
you know that a lot of the time when people tweet you like that, there's other shit, right? No one's in a happy place and goes, you know what? Fuck this guy's opinion, and I'm gonna tear him a shred. And by the way, I'm gonna go back to happiness. Like it's not. I feel bad. Like I never want. I'm always down for, if you think my opinion sucks, totally cool, debate me. But we got to keep this respectful, otherwise, see ya. Like I'm kind of putting the walls up and protect. There was a point in my life where I was going to be like, yeah, sure, all opinions. No, not anymore.
When I was younger and far more confrontational, like I don't look back at those tweets and go, "Oh, damn, that was fire." I look back and I go, "That's ugly," and I wish I never said it, and delete.
Yeah, and I've done it too. So listen, I'm not innocent of this, but Morgan Rielly signs for 8 years, $7.5 million in a vacuum. This is a good value contract. You'll like this contract. He's 26, 27 years old.
27.
And he's a great human being. That's the number one thing about Morgan Rielly that you hear before anything else is what a fucking great guy he is.
Yep.
Everybody loves him.
Yep.
You saw the reaction in Leafs practice after that, after the extension was announced. So that is amazing. Number two, he is an elite offensive defenseman. There is no getting around it. He's a great puck mover, spectacular in the power play. All the metrics support it. The eye test, the stats test, no question. The downside is you're going to get torched defensively.
Yeah.
So you have to find partners that can help with that. TJ Brody's been good.
Yep.
Ron Hainsey was not, but he was the best one he had. Mm-hmm. It's one of those where I think you're paying him for the good. You're not paying him for what he's not. And that completely makes sense. And by the way, the contract's probably below market value. He's probably getting 8+ on the open market.
100%. Well, and the Leafs gave him what no other team could, which is the 8th year.
Right.
Which 100% brought the number down.
There was a very funny tweet, and I forget who tweeted it, but thank you for tweeting it. It's maybe one of the most perfect tweets in history. Guy was like, Morgan Rielly has the rare combo of not wanting to win and not wanting the most money.
Oh, I saw that. Like,
I was like, that was funny.
It proves that it's not about money or winning. And I read that and I went, yeah. Wait.
Like perfect tweet. Perfect.
It's really good. Really good.
So here's what the tweet that got me into some hot water with people. I bet
it's really controversial.
I said that it felt like 2006. Now, for those who are unfamiliar with what 2006 looked like, at the time,
frosted tips.
Yeah.
Flared jeans.
Limp Bizkit was on its way out.
Yeah. We were about to live in a post-Limp Bizkit world.
But Usher,
My Chemical Romance. Usher was banging.
Yeah. Rihanna was coming out of nowhere.
Ludacris was transitioning to an actor.
Yeah.
There was a lot.
Yeah.
There was a lot.
Nelly was done. Crazy. Already done at 2006.
Yeah. Country Grammar was long in the past and he was doing shit like, I am number one. Like, no.
So the Leafs had just parted ways with a long-tenured veteran general manager who had seen a Stanley Cup final and tons of success in multiple different cities.
He was fired by the guy he hired.
Right. And the guy he hired was this new, young, brilliant mind in hockey that was going to change the way the Leafs were run. Does this sound familiar to you?
He's going to bring in his guys from the Blues organization. Here comes John Pohl, everybody. Here he comes. He's going to fix the mid-2000s Leafs.
John Ferguson Jr. was billed as somewhat like, not dissimilar to Kyle Dubas, which is young, fresh blood, changed the whole thing, whatever. Now, he signed 5 players who were later known, and unfairly so, as the Muskoka 5. Matt Sundin, Brian McCabe, Darcy Tucker, Thomas Caberlet, all a part of the core that went to the conference final a couple of times.
Yep.
Had good deep runs in the playoffs for like 6 years. And Pavel Kubina, who came from Tampa Bay Lightning.
Pavel Kubina. I was like, who's number 5?
Yeah.
Everyone always forgets Pavel Kubina.
He also traded a goalie prospect by the name of Tuukka Rask for Rookie of the Year winner Andrew Raycroft. Now, they doubled down on this group. Admittedly, this group is far less... You could see it on paper. The group that they doubled down on is far less talented than the group we have here with the Toronto Maple Leafs.
And it was old.
It was old. They had been through it.
Dude, it was... They also had like old Jeff O'Neill, old Eric Lindros, old Jason Allison, like old everybody.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they had those guys at like $1 million. Remember, the salary cap went down to $42 million that year. Crazy.
I always tell this story. Jason Allison signed the cheap deal, but he had $1 million signing bonus if he played, I think it was 64 games. Game 63, gets in a fight, breaks his hand.
Oh,
right.
God.
Yep.
That's $1 million punch.
Oh! Now, they doubled down on that group. And at the time, Leaf fans didn't really complain, but it became very clear as they handed out no movement clauses like it was Halloween candy that they were in some trouble because Darcy Tucker was declining. The prospects, Ponikarovsky and Antropov, probably didn't pan out the way they wanted them to.
And the cap was like $42.5 million.
Yeah, it's tight, right? And Sundin was making like 8.
Which is wild because like it's wild that they out of nowhere were like, here's the cap now.
Yeah.
And it's no wonder that teams like the Leafs and Flyers and like teams who are actually spending money heading into the lockout, it's no wonder they got screwed.
Totally screwed.
How are you supposed to prepare for something that you didn't know was coming?
Yep. 100%. 100%. So the reason, that position and that group was objectively different than today. But the thing that I found not dissimilar is that they doubled down on a group that in this era, in that particular era, the Sundin, Tucker, McCabe group did not do anything after the lockout. And they doubled down on them. I know McCabe had a 25-goal season and then never came close to it again. I get it. So that's why they signed him to that contract. But when I look at it here with the Leafs, Morgan Rielly's contract is not the problem. The problem is how does it fit in with the rest of the gigantic contracts? And Morgan's isn't even that gigantic. It's fourth of 5, right? Nylander makes less.
Well, and those two, by the way, are literally below market value players.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nylander is clearly below market value.
Clearly, very clearly.
And Reilly, I think, will prove to be as well. The Leafs do not have a big 5 problem.
No, they don't.
They have a big 3 problem.
Well, so this is where it's my turn to ask if I'm taking crazy pills.
Okay.
Because people seem to be super good with this, which, okay, but what about this team makes you feel super good about this?
So your problem isn't with the cap hit or the number.
No, I think that's a great deal for Morgan Rielly. I think it's a great deal for the Leafs.
Yeah, because in terms of the number, like it fits just by default in that the cap goes up $1 million plus 1.2 of Phil Kessel comes off the books.
Yep.
So there's Morgan Rielly there at his current number, except you get to add the money because the other money's coming back. But you don't like it because this group has done nothing and shouldn't be rewarded for it.
Yeah, I'm confused. Is it? Do you think it's a poor use of money, or do you think it's doubling down on the group?
I think they've doubled and now maybe tripled down on a group that I am not convinced can do this. And it's not Morgan Rielly that's the problem. And I think a lot of people got that confused about what I tweeted. And to be honest with you, the tweet was kind of vague, so I don't blame them. But my problem here is you've got 5 players. You've got $5 million in cap space, right? $5 million. That's what you have going into next season.
Sure.
Jack Campbell is up.
Sure.
He's, unless Peter Mrazek turns it around, and he had a groin injury. I get it. Jack Campbell's your option at goalie. You need to keep Jack Campbell, probably, right?
So the cap, but I thought your problem wasn't with the cap.
Well, hang on.
Because
let me explain it. I haven't had the chance to explain anything. So
let him go.
So my point here in saying all of this,
I feel like
because you guys keep. Let me say the whole thing.
You ever see that Simpsons thing?
As it stands now,
let him speak. I'm trying to get fired.
The Leafs will have about $5 million in cap space, I believe, next year. Is it fair to ask, where is this going? My question is, where is this going? So are we to believe that all of these players will be on the roster next year? And I'm talking about the big 5 contract.
No.
Okay. Because that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, there's no way that all 5 of these guys can be here next year. And my thing about Morgan Rielly was trade him so you don't lose him for nothing. Well, now that you've signed him, great.
Yeah.
But
I wanted them to trade him because I didn't think for a million years they'd be able to do this.
Exactly. It was sort of like losing Bozak and JVR and all the other guys for nothing. That was the problem for me. Yeah. That's why I was like, well, you got to trade Rielly.
And Hyman, yeah.
And thinking that you were, but now that you got him re-signed, okay, cool. So what happens now? And that's where my question with this group is. That's where I feel like 2006 got a little wonky because they couldn't move on from any of those contracts and they shouldn't have handed out all those no move clauses. With this group, those contracts, even if they don't have no move clauses attached to them, going to be pretty challenging to trade some of them because of just the amount of cap hit. That in itself is almost like a no movement clause.
Yep. It's
not a total no movement clause. We've seen people with no movement clauses get traded. I get that. But I just have to question, where is this all going? And I'm surprised. I feel like I'm the only one asking this. Like, is anybody else asking this question? Am I nuts? Am I not seeing this?
No. Lots of people
is there a logical, this will happen. You idiots. How do you not see it?
I think you're blaming good business for previous bad business.
I'm not blaming. I'm just asking where it's going.
Right. So, Riley, so you said earlier, like, we agree that it's below market value.
That's a great contract. I don't mind it.
So you don't stop doing things that are good business because of previous bad business.
Okay.
So, and it's hard to even call it, like, Matthews' contract is not an albatross. That's great.
That's a great deal.
He struggled to start the season, but I mean, wrist surgery, whatever. Tavares, even, I mean, to add a player like that out of nowhere without giving up an asset other than cap space, even that's pretty good. Marner is a great player. He's just overpaid. I don't see any of those 3 deals. We'll say 2 because they're not trading Austin. But I don't see any of those deals as unmovable.
Interesting.
You know what I mean? And if, you're talking about next year, if they don't do anything this year, there's no way those big 3 stay. There's no way. Not all 3.
And then if they do something, the cap works because the current roster on Saturday is $2.2 million under the cap. if you exclude Campbell and Mikheyev. And if the team succeeds, then you can move pieces like Ritchie and Kerfoot, and there's an extra 5, so you're up to like almost $9 million in free space that you can build on the team that's successful.
Ritchie, Kerfoot, Mikheyev, Engvall, Hall is now
which we'll talk about.
And now, okay, by the way, you're wrong about the wrong thing, because we can move on. Adam, I want you to leave your Morgan Rielly anger at the door.
I'm not mad at Morgan Rielly. I never didn't like Morgan Rielly.
I need you to take your fiery hatred of Morgan Rielly and put it in a box.
I didn't say that. No. I said it's a good deal. I said, where the fuck are they going with this? That's where I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, they're going to play out the season. We're going to see where it goes, and then there's a lot of room to do whichever direction you want to go in.
Tessa Virtue is an Olympic hero. Why do you hate Canada? I just want to know.
You can say that you like the puzzle piece, but don't like the puzzle, can't you?
Yes, totally. But that doesn't mean you throw out all the good pieces.
Okay.
I want you to tuck away your Morgan Rielly frustration.
Yeah, okay. Not Morgan Rielly frustration. Dubas frustration a little bit here. Where are we going?
Okay.
I'm down to go. I want you to be successful. Tell me where we're going.
I want you to take the okay, so right now you got your advent calendar of Dubas frustration.
I'm ready.
And I need you to put the Morgan Rielly candy back.
Okay.
And I need you to grab the Jared McCann box. You're allowed to open that today.
I'm allowed to open that today?
Oh, yeah.
Don't you think that's a little early to be opening that?
No. I think we're right on time with that box.
Really?
Because he rules, and the entire defense, people got it wrong. They looked at Alex Kerfoot, and they're like, he's not Jared McCann.
Explain the context here first.
Yeah, okay. So the Leafs trade for Jared McCann, and then 3 days later, expose him in the expansion draft, and he goes to the Seattle Kraken, confusing a lot of people. Now, they only gave up Philip Hollander in a 7th, and the logic to management was, well, we're only giving up Hollander in a 7th. What Leaf fans wanted is the Leafs to protect Kerfoot. That was to protect McCann over Kerfoot. That was never going to happen, because Leaf fans often forget Kerfoot was not protected in the expansion draft.
Mm-hmm.
It was Matthews, Marner, Tavares, Nylander up front. 4. Back end, Reilly, Muzzin, Brody, Hall. It was to protect Hall. That's why.
Which I raised questions about and was called a fucking idiot for.
Yeah, but then you look at all the contracts defensemen are getting, $8-9 million bucks, and you see Hall at $2 million, and you're like, is he any of those guys? No.
But
is he $2 million? Probably.
Can you replace him for less than $2 million or $2 million?
No.
Probably
and you
not.
probably couldn't.
Like,
right?
unless
Which I got.
You draft the guy, and his name is Timothy Liljegren. And it's very difficult. The second he started the season like garbage and then became a healthy scratch, I was like, all right, we're allowed to be mad about Jared McCann.
Yeah, but that's just Curtis McElhinney again. He made the right decision, and then in hindsight, it just turned out the other guy is playing better.
I think with him, I said it during this, like you have him as your third line center. The Leafs group looks so much different, right?
I just wish someone in those few days, didn't even have to be from the Leafs organization, but they could have leaked it, for crying out loud. I just wish someone laid it out in plain English. Here's what the Leafs are doing here. They're going to lose Jared McCann. Do not get your hopes up about this or anything ever. Like, that's all. Because they got him, and I'm like, that's great. They got a good player. Isn't it great when they get a great player? Good. Hey. And they allowed me to be happy about it, only to take it away at a time where this fan base was so dejected. Literally, the next thing they did after getting eliminated by the Habs was going, here's a guy, he's pretty good, he's gone. Thanks for exactly nothing. You know what I mean? Jared McCann holds a special place in Leaf fans' hearts and in their frustrations, because they all thought, hey, here's this nice thing after the worst thing we've seen as fans, and we had it taken away.
Well, I
understand the logic.
I have it in my notes here, by the way.
But emotionally, fuck it. I hate that whole thing and how it happened. Now all we need is for Hollander to be amazing. for the Penguins. It's going to happen.
I have it in my notes here that I don't think it's fair to go in on that decision just yet. And the reason I was the one that was against it. But to me, if you're going to keep Justin Holl, and Jesse mentioned the reasons there, and they make a lot of sense. I get the frustration. I mean, we all saw the clip of him slowing up before the blue line, putting Matthews offside. Matthews getting mad.
Screaming at him.
Keefe holding him out of the lineup, saying we're not going to put him back in until we build him back up. And Timothy and Rasmus look like they belong. But I think maybe it's a little premature because you do need depth on D. People do get injured in the playoffs. And wouldn't it be nice if the Leafs had a problem of too many great defensemen pushing each other out of the lineup, which we never have. So I as much as I was not for it in the summer, now that we're here, I'm gonna wait this one out too damn early. I'm sure Justin Holl by game 35 will be just fine.
Yeah, on the Sabres.
He's not gonna be on the Sabres. I do want to say this, and this is from Dom Lecision's article.
Boo!
He said, and he was talking about the four teams with terrible starts: Colorado, Vegas, Tampa, Toronto. And he said, Toronto's getting chances for the most part. The team just isn't scoring. Through the first 7 games, the Leafs already had 12 fewer goals than expected. That will regress. The team has too much talent for it not to. Matthews and Marner have spent the last few seasons being incredibly productive players capable of scoring at a 90-point pace. Yes.
I do agree with that.
And then he said, most sensible people know this team is probably too good to miss the playoffs bracket, even though they haven't looked close to that yet, close bracket. But so far, they've proven absolutely nothing regarding whether they'll actually do anything if they get there. It's hard to relax when that is the case, even if a regular season turnaround is likely. And that sentence is why I'm concerned about the core as it stands. And I know we're all like, here's the thing. People think when I dare to criticize the Leafs or dare to criticize Dubas, it's that I don't like them. There are people in this market that legitimately have never liked Kyle Dubas since the day he walked in.
Because of his face.
Yes, he's young and I don't like him. And I want to punch him in the face with my words because I'm a bad writer.
Okay, so tell me about this new Leafs GM. He's young. Fuck it.
Yeah. Already I don't like him.
Asshole. Nice sweater, young asshole.
He does have a great
sweater. Do you want to play with... Sorry.
So the thing is, it's not if you listen to any show we've ever done up until the last little bit...
We apologize.
Pro Dubas.
Oh.
But I'm still... For once, I just don't know what the next step here is. And I think it has to start with the Leafs actually turning it around on the ice. You saw the game versus Detroit. I'm curious to hear what you guys think because it looked really good. But to me, again, the Leafs cannot put 60 minutes together. I don't know why.
So just to comment on Dom's article, we're aligned on the Leafs regressing and their shooting will get better and they'll score goals with far more ease. We're not as aligned on how that's going to happen.
Okay.
I still don't think the last couple games, they have looked dangerous. But, oh boy, previous to that, I'm just not seeing it. I'm seeing lots of shots. I'm seeing lots of possession. I'm seeing
clean looks, to quote Sheldon Keefe.
And then David Alter the other day tweets oh man, it's another game where they had a bunch of shots and a bunch of possession and none of it looked dangerous at all. And I'm just oh, Dave, welcome to the resistance, buddy. But to me, the big problem was their neutral zone defense, I feel like, is pretty good. They do a good job of cutting the other team off before they get into the offensive zone. And they limit them in that regard. Holy shit, once it gets beyond the blue line, though, it is a problem. Mm-hmm. It is not good. I'm trying to remember the defenseman who Joe Velino cooked alive. They did not look good. They did not look good at all. And they have struggled this year and forever to beat teams convincingly when they should. So let's go back a weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Pittsburgh, missing 5 guys, but they're all pro athletes. They had 3 days rest. The Leafs had played the night before. Okay, Pittsburgh kills them 7-1. You should never lose 7-1 under any circumstances, but they did. Using that logic, the next weekend, the Detroit Red Wings, who had played the night before, were on the road, were missing their leading scorer because he's a silly goose, should get annihilated by the Toronto Maple Leafs, who are at home and rested and healthy. It was 5-4.
But it was 5-1 for a while, wasn't it?
No, it was
4-1.
The Leafs went up 3-1, Red Wings score. Leafs go up 4-2, Red Wings score. Leafs go up 5-3, and with less than 30 seconds to go. Like, I can't, with a 2-goal lead and 30 seconds left, I should be able to confidently leave that building. And you just can't. I should be able to shut it off. And you can't. Advertisers love the Toronto Maple Leafs because you can't shut their games off. You cannot. You can't miss a single commercial break. You can't, because you never know when they're about to absolutely shit themselves. And like, you already got people questioning Peter Mrazek.
I mean, it's not fair. He got a groin injury in the first game. Like, come on.
Like, but I'm looking at it and I'm like, what is he supposed to do? What is he supposed to do? They look like the 18-19 Leafs, who you might recall were also not good enough. Like the 17-18, 18-19 Leafs scored a ton of goals, allowed a ton of goals. That's what they've looked like the past couple games. And this is why Sheldon Keefe preaches so much about process versus results, because the Leafs have really needed these past couple wins against Chicago and Detroit. But the wins that they got against Chicago, who are in last place, and against Detroit, who have started the season well, but should have gotten blown up on Saturday, those are not playoff wins. Now, should we be expecting playoff wins in October? Maybe not. But they don't look close. Like, they don't look close to what they need to be. Maybe you're just never going to get that in October.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe not.
But I would like to see some glimpses of it.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be cool. And sometime over the next couple months, we got November coming up here and December, I would like to have faith in their ability to do anything in the spring by New Year's Day. That'd be great. And through 9 games, I have
Jesse,
none.
do you think that's a reasonable request?
I think so. And I think we forget, too, that they were down 2-0 to Chicago.
To Chicago. Okay, you should have never been down 2-0. They stink.
Yeah.
They're so bad.
The Leafs didn't have a good first period at all. They've had, what? I think out of the 6...
Again.
The 6 periods, excluding the overtime, the 6 periods that they've played in the last 2 games, they've had, I think, 4 of 6. Because they didn't show up, I think, in the middle of the Detroit game. Like, second period wasn't that great, if I remember correctly.
Trying to remember.
And then the first period versus Chicago, where they were down 2-0 at the end of it, that was awful. It's the worst team in the league. What are you doing?
Well, the Leafs are reliably unreliable. It's to the point where I'm like, are they doing it on purpose? They love going down 2-0 in Chicago and coming back and winning in overtime.
Yeah, and they turn the thing.
Their last 3 games in Chicago have been overtime wins.
Their ability to put together a great game was there because they showed it in the last 2 periods of the hockey game. But it's just, where is that in the first period?
They also don't know how to score without sacrificing at the other end.
Yeah,
it was obvious to me. It was great to see them break out and get those 5 goals, and Mitch gets one, and man, that guy.
Marner needed it.
He's in.
I felt good for him.
No.
It wasn't a great game.
Because here's the thing.
But
I thought he had a good game.
Sometimes having a goal, though, it's just tangible, right? There's something.
The last 2 minutes of that game show where Mitch Marner's at. Because he scores that goal, and there's like no joy, like just relief. It was a bit of a silly goal, but I thought his defensive instincts got him offensive cookies, and it ended up being the game-winning goal. Hooray! And his captain comes over and hugs him. Come here, Scruffy. And, rub him on the head. And he just looked like, yeah, okay, cool, finally. Then, in the final minute, stick breaks, and he has to go to the bench and rushes back, and the goal goes in, and you just see his body language is awful. And Peter Mrazek has to make a couple saves after that to ice the game. And go watch his reaction after the final horn. This dude, he's in a miserable place right now. And he needs to play with fun. He has to play with fun.
That's when he's at his best.
All right. And with Mitch, like, I didn't think he had a great game because it's still too chaotic. There's still like, if you watch Mitch Marner going around the ice, I think there's still so much going on. Like, you're watching him have an adventure on the ice, and I don't like that. I would like him just to settle a little bit. So once his game just slows down and he gets into a good rhythm, then I'll be happy with where Mitch Marner's at. He's not there. And like, sorry. I disagree with the idea that the Leafs are in trouble or that they're off to a slow start. Because if you look at the standings, they're sitting with all the other teams. And if you go around to the other divisions, you see Vancouver's in last place. A team like Vegas is right in the middle.
You don't know, but that's not your bar.
The Ducks are
Colorado's in 5th. They're 8 points in 8 games. Boston's below the Leafs in the standings with 2 less games played.
Buffalo and Detroit.
The New York Islanders are 8 points in 7 games. Pittsburgh's 8 points in 8 games. It's so early still.
I know.
Like, the Leafs aren't in a bad position because they're sitting with everybody else.
Agreed, points-wise, they're not. But, Jesse, do you think that from what you've seen, it's been inspiring?
Oh, no, definitely not. But, like, they can get into a groove. There's still plenty of time you turn around. Like Steve said, you want to see it in November and December and going into the new year. We'll see where they are.
Well, the shitty Leafs take on the shitty Vegas Golden Knights. Both teams off to a cold start. I said shitty as a joke.
Tomorrow. Is that tonight? Oh, it's tomorrow. I was wondering why we hadn't really seen any tweets today. I know, believe it or not, I'm not, like, on top of it. Like, I wake up a lot of days and I'm like, oh, they play today? Cool. I didn't know they had a back-to-back in the first week. That was a surprise.
Mm-hmm. So it's yeah. I think you got it. Just like with Justin Hall, so the Leafs. You got to give some time for them to build themselves back up, because whatever amount of dejection we all felt from last playoff, I think they did too.
I think they
10 times, 100 times. I
think in some ways the Leafs have higher expectations than anybody in the league. Fans immediately, and I'm not talking about them as a cup contender, it's that fans immediately expect them to come out of the gate making up for the playoffs.
Yeah.
And that's just not how it works.
No.
And I've been guilty of that a little too, but...
Certainly I have.
Who is in last place, Jesse? I see you looking at the standings. Is it
in
Arizona?
The whole league? Yeah. Well, Chicago's still winless. So it's Chicago and Arizona, 31-32. Arizona's got 1 point in 9 games.
It's November 1st. There's still 2 teams with no wins?
Yep.
Yeah. Chicago and Arizona
actually,
still winless.
Chicago is going to be my next story. However, we have breaking news, and we're going to start with the Canadiens. I was going to go to Chicago next, but Cole Caufield has been sent down to Laval.
Wow.
And the Canadiens are off to their worst start since 1941. They have an issue at center, clearly. And, I was reading, this is from sportsnet.ca, this is Eric Engels. They've got bottom numbers in nearly every offensive category. That's an offense that's underperforming. A defense that's limited to generate much better results than what they're currently offering, which isn't very good. And they've had substandard goaltending. And that's the one that seems the hardest to solve, because we're not sure about where Carey Price is at. And, Nick Suzuki's got 5 assists in 10 games, which is...
Oh, yeah, I have him in fantasy, I know.
Yeah, Jake Bean got a goal.
My team sucks.
And I feel bad for Cole Caufield because, he had such a great... He was so confident in the last year's playoffs. He was so effective. But as we've seen with the Leafs, too, confidence is so much a part of what this game is. And if you're not playing and having fun, it's amazing what it can do, especially to players who are a little bit younger. It's tough. And a lot of... I got to be honest with you. The Canadiens are to blame here on this one. You're expecting a whole heck of a lot of a 20-year-old.
Well, and
what's he supposed to do?
You took a center away.
Yeah.
Also, I'm looking at their lineup. So it was Drouin, Dvorak, Anderson, Hoffman, Suzuki, Toffoli, Armia, Brooks, Caufield, and Lehkonen, Paquette, Evans. And Paquette's going to get suspended too. Who plays for the Habs, man? And also, where's Gallagher and all that? Is he out too? I don't know. On one hand, the Habs are having a nightmare season. Nightmare in terms of just people getting hurt and different circumstances. But I also wonder if the Leafs, Golden Knights, and Jets wake up sick to their stomachs every morning. That they lost to them. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
Is it just the Carey Price effect?
I think we go to that because it's the easiest story, but
Or is it the number one center taken out of significant amount of time effect?
Could be that.
3 different series in a row?
Could be that.
But it should. Well, all 3 of those teams should have had more to offer than what they did.
And like, just off the top of my head, who is missing? Gallagher is missing. Weber is missing. Price is missing. And there you go. That's enough. In terms of leadership, Deneau is missing Byron. Because he's not on the team anymore. Byron is missing, and he usually wears an A for them. Everybody's gone. Laval is probably the best place for Caufield right now.
Yeah, that's what I would think too. I think honestly, like I feel bad for Caufield. It's a whole heck of a lot to put on them, and I feel like
hi, you have to score all our goals.
Has there been a team with a more disastrous start after a Stanley Cup Finals run than like in the last 30 years? Like, to me, the Devils won in 95, missed the playoffs completely in 96. I remember that.
Yeah.
Who else has been not great after a finals run like that? I mean, Dallas last year, but they were super injured.
And COVID. And COVID. Snowstorm. And
oh my God, the Texas snowstorm.
Yeah. Oh all sorts of understandable from them. Trying to think of one. I really can't.
It's tough.
And we're not talking about miss the playoffs. We're talking about like, this is disaster.
Well, it's the worst start since 41. So yeah, it's bad.
That's an interesting question you should bring up because I screenshotted it from the broadcast.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. So it's the worst starts following a Stanley Cup appearance. This was when it was 4 games in. The Mighty Ducks started 0-4, the Hurricanes 0-3-1, and the Devils 0-3-1. The Canadiens, they led the list at 0-4. So I assume they have the record by still being terrible because the worst start previous to them was the Mighty Ducks at 0-4, and they have well surpassed that. Oof. And this is since 2000.
I just want to throw that out there. Zegras looks pretty darn good, huh?
Until he got checked from behind by Paquette. I hope he's okay. No, Zegras he's unreal.
Wow.
That's a franchise changer.
Sorry.
Well, I was going to say, like, I know I've been shitting on the Ducks because they haven't looked very good, but like, that's the sort of guy who turns your entire franchise
around. As an aside, too, Ryan Getzlaf passed Timo Solani in all-time Ducks points. He's the all-time Ducks points leader.
898. 989.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's a lot. So he's 11 away from 1,000. That's pretty neat.
All with one team. It's really rare. Really rare.
And with milestones, now that you bring it up, I forgot in the Morgan Rielly conversation, Myrtle in his article pointed out that if Reilly plays all 82 of the 8-year contract, he will be the all-time leader in games played for the Toronto Maple Leafs. He'll pass George Armstrong.
So he can't miss another game.
So if he played 82, I'll check the
he can never
number.
miss another game.
I think it's 581 plus 82 times 8. So 8. So 1237, which would pass Armstrong.
That's a lot of games, man.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's pretty cool, though.
Yeah. Listen, I think we often forget, fans need to know who they're cheering for.
Mm-hmm.
And like, people were asking me about like what name they should get on a Leaf jersey. And I was like, oh boy, you can confidently get Morgan Rielly.
Mm-hmm.
That he's going to be on the Leafs potentially forever now, which is awesome. Like, I don't know. At some point, you talk about, well, yeah, but does he do this effectively or that? Listen, who's on the Leafs? This is all about who I like. Who do I pay you money to come to the building and yell about? Who do I get to go? Okay, so what? How much is this? $250? Great. Who am I cheering for? Morgan Rielly is on the list. I will cheer for Morgan Rielly.
Great.
I'll wear him on the back.
Easily.
Who's on the Leafs? Thank you.
Okay.
Good. Great.
Hey, listen, life can get busy, and sometimes you're going to miss the biggest headline in sports from the night before, or maybe multiple headlines. And then that's going to change the way you place your bets. So how about this? We relive the best nights in sports with BetMGM tonight, presented by BetMGM. And basically, it's a fun, easy way to kind of stay informed and feel confident about making the bets you need to make without actually seeing the games all the time. Because let's face it, life gets in the way. So if you find 20 minutes, a little bit of entertainment, a little bit of fun, and BetMGM is going to take you there. It's a high-energy, live destination for casual and hardcore sports fans. It's engaging. It's polarizing. It's relevant to you. and you get caught up in sports betting around the world with a heavy dose of entertainment. The hosts are Quentin Mayo, Ryan Horvat, and Trista Crick, and they're joined by on-site correspondents to bring you the insider information that you need in real time. Every detail matters when you're making sports bets. BetMGM tonight dives deeper to give you the edge. Fun to bet on the game, and it's even more fun when you've got the inside scoop. So tune into BetMGM tonight, presented by BetMGM. You can listen on Odyssey, Spotify, or your favorite podcast app. You know, before I started going to therapy, one of the things that one of my friends who was recommending it said was this. It's the best way I've ever heard it explained. You work out your body, right? Go for a run, you do some push-ups, get on an extra bike, whatever it is you do. And that helps clear your head. You're taking care of your body. You need to do that. You need to move. What about your brain? Have you worked that out lately? Have you gone for treatment lately? For you, for the inside, for the thing that controls all the things that take you to the gym. That's what's really important. We get annual checkups at the gym and the doctor. How about some emotional checkups? Going to therapy is like that, just a little bit of routine maintenance. And the great thing about BetterHelp is it's customized online therapy that offers video, phone, and even live chat sessions with your therapist. So you don't have to see anyone. If you don't want to be on camera, you don't have to be. It's much more affordable than in-person therapy, and you can start communicating with your therapist in under 48 hours. Why invest in everything else and not your mind? That's the most important part, right? So this podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp, and Steve Dangle Podcast listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/SDP. That's BetterHelp.com/SDP for 10% off at BetterHelp.
Another weird story is, and we mentioned it earlier, how bad the Blackhawks are.
Oof.
And here's the thing. Marc AndreFleury is saying he's embarrassed by the way they started the season. Here's the quote, and I want to read this to you, and then I want to read you some reaction, and then I want to get your reaction. So this is very frustrating and embarrassing. We had some hype with our team with the new acquisitions this summer and younger guys having a little more experience this season. We expected more out of our team. It's been tough to keep staying positive through it. And then he said it's been tough for him to keep smiling.
Oh.
And, you know, Marc AndreFleury is known for his smile and his positive attitude, and even in times of trouble. And what was interesting about this, not Pittsburgh fans, but Pittsburgh reporters said, I have never heard him talk like that.
He hasn't been on a team this bad since like 2004.
Yeah.
Every team he's on has been a championship contender.
Now, I think fair to say that what has happened with the Blackhawks off the ice would be a distraction.
Has to be.
Like, how do you not? And so on that level, it's like, okay, you get it. I feel like this team is talented. They're not 0-7-2 bad.
I agree that they shouldn't be this bad.
Like, if they were 4-4-3, I'd be like, okay, marginal team. 0-7-2, not a win in the month of October?
Isn't that wild?
It's wild.
And like, offensive, like DeBrincat's been good.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? They're getting performances.
Mm-hmm.
The goaltending's been, I mean, I don't know. It's so hard to put it on goaltending when the team in front of him's so bad. Fleury, he made a couple funny mistakes and they made it into dang-its, but like overall, the team in front of him's trash. They're trash.
He has an 8.72 save percentage and a 4.63 goals against average. Marc AndreFleury.
And it makes
great, Bob.
It makes the bad luck losses so much worse.
Yeah.
Because I'm not gonna lie, I think the loss to the Leafs is kind of a bad luck loss.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I feel like they were right in that game, right? Like
they led by multiple goals.
Well, but also like, okay, Tavares kind of burned Taves. You know, he roofs this wicked backhander.
Which was really nice, by the way. It was nice to see
really
Tavares
nice
do
that
that.
like just
That
a
was
lot
great.
of guys can't do.
Oh,
Is that Tavares doing something special, or is it the team blowing an assignment? It's probably both.
mm-hmm.
They were a little discombobulated on the Kampf goal, but at the end of the day, he just spun and fired a backhand, and that scored too.
And overtime's a wash. It's
Overtime's a
3-on-3.
wash.
Yeah.
So like, that's a shitty luck loss. You need, Jesus Lord, you need that win, and they don't get it. So
that was also the day after the Kyle Beach interview. So it was at the height of distraction for the team, and they come out there and they play well.
And I was, as a Leaf fan, and I'm sure fans of other fan bases, I was like, can you beat them? Can you just beat them in this game? Can you please? Can you not be part of their nauseating redemption arc that someone's going to write about? Well, they came together as a group. And no,
that's what I didn't want. I was going to tweet that out before the game. I'm like, if the Leafs lose tonight, it's going to be about how the guys came together. And it's like, no, please don't miss me with that shit. Please.
And it's not like, and I'm not saying the players on this team, like DeBrincat, for example, who,
spoke eloquently about it.
He spoke supportively of Kyle Beach. Like, I'm not saying he has to answer for what happened in 2010. He was like 12 years old or something like that. Mm-hmm. But I am saying the Chicago Blackhawks, for the good of every hockey fan's soul, had to lose that game. They had to. And I was looking at the Leafs down 0-2, and I was like, you bastards.
Yeah, it had to be us.
You can't even, Like, seriously, you couldn't even give us this.
Yeah.
Really, really. Thanks for nothing.
Right.
So thank God they came back and won. But
I gotta say.
What?
All those times that Jesse took it hard. Well, people gave Jesse a lot of criticism for when we did Who Wore the Crown segments. Every damn time he picked Nylander. And I believe Jesse's ship has come in.
Yeah, well,
this guy,
he was against Detroit.
Docked. Yeah,
but
I think it's been docked.
But end of last season, playoffs going into this season, he's been the best player on the team.
It's to the point where his bad games really stand out, and even his bad games are still just meh.
Yeah. Oh, it's great.
And he's had a grand total of 1.
Yeah,
this season.
And you know what? Every time he scores, I have people in my family that I text every time William Nylander scores. I'm just going, hey, checking in. You guys enjoy that?
Jonas Siegel got the opportunity to do a one-on-one with Nylander.
Oh,
when was this?
Literally Friday.
Oh,
October 29th. Yeah,
cool.
So it's in The Athletic. Go read it. It's really good. But one thing he pointed out there was how Nylander was he had to hold the flag for getting the money that you deserve for all the guys that have gotten it in the last little bit.
Yeah.
It was the Kachuk, the Pettersson deals that we're talking about specifically, along with the the Kaprizov deal, or the even Nico Hischier or Clayton Keller, and all these guys who are getting these deals, and Nylander had to sit out till December just to get the contract he deserves. And now all these guys are doing it, and there's not a bunch of hoopla around it. The Kachuk thing happened, but nobody is coming at Kachuk with this vitriol that, oh, how dare you? And his deal is
normal now.
Is worse value than Nylander's. And it's become normal, and he was kind of the front runner. Well, and he doesn't get credit for that. And Siegel did a great job giving him credit for holding out, and guys today getting more than they deserve because the salary cap will come back and make it valued.
Remember what Jeremy Roenick tweeted when Nylander finally signed?
He's remember what Jeremy Roenick tweeted? No.
It was something along the lines of, back in my day, we actually had earned contracts. It's back in your day, there were no rookie minimums, but because you folded in 2004, maximums, because you folded in 2004 and allowed this salary cap, you are responsible for this, Jeremy. You and your star players who didn't want to give up another year of your deal.
I don't know how he dealt with that. I don't know how he specifically dealt with that. I just know that I agree with, or disagree rather, with
everything.
The vast majority of what.
Yes. It is shocking that he was allowed on TV for that long.
Now everybody kind of gets the contract before they prove their value, and Nylander was the first one to do it in this little era. Shout out Willie.
Do you have something you want to add on to Willie?
Oh, I was just going to go back to how bad the Blackhawks are.
Oh, Blackhawks are bad. But I'd like to talk about some good news.
Oh,
there is some good news around the league. So here's some good news story. First off, Andreas Janssen. Andreas Janssen is tearing it up. But right now...
Good for him.
Right now, he is shooting 40%.
After 4 last year?
And when he's on the ice, the team shoots 13.4%.
That's really good.
Really good.
That's really good.
Will that eventually even out? Sure.
Yeah.
But I just thought good for him. And we talk about 2 teams that did not win a game in October. How about a team that didn't lose? Not even in overtime.
Oh.
The Carolina Hurricanes. 8-0-0. Scary. Leaf fans are having nightmares because Freddie Anderson is 6-0.
He's 7-0.
7-0.
And he's 4 games shy. I don't remember who tweeted this, but he's 4 games shy of tying Jack Campbell's all-time NHL record.
Oh, for wins in a row. No way.
Wouldn't it be
to start a season.
amazing?
Oh, that would be
Wouldn't
funny.
it be amazing if the season after his backup broke the record, he takes it right back?
Oh my God. I mean, it would be so deliciously Leafs. And let me throw this at you. The Florida Panthers are 8-0-1. They would have had the best record, but they had the 1 out.
They lost to the Hurricanes.
They lost the Hurricanes. 8-0-1. Bobrovsky looks back. Spencer Knight looks really good.
Told you.
3 games, 929 save percentage.
Yep.
Now they just lost their head coach. However,
who's filling in?
Andrew Brunette,
Right.
noted expansion guy who's always taken in the expansion draft. Andrew Brunette.
Yep.
So listen, I think the Florida thing will be interesting to watch. Coach Q's history aside, you lose a coach. Rarely do teams that are doing as well as the Panthers do or are doing, rarely do they lose their coach. So
I think he's the first ever undefeated coach to leave their team.
Right. So this is an experiment, and this makes. I mean, it makes sense
under circumstances.
Well, yeah, no. I'm emphasizing how bizarre the circumstances are. Like,
Right,
this is rare.
So what will be very interesting here is seeing what the Florida Panthers are now. So what are you? Well, because they are a very, very good team. Always have been a tremendous amount of skill, just never really put it together in the way that you would want it to until last year.
Dallas. I mean, this doesn't have to sink you because Dallas did.
Oh yeah,
or had something similar happen.
Montgomery.
I don't remember the name of the. I think that's their current coach. Whoever their coach was, got let go because of some sort of misconduct. I'm not going to lie, I kind of forget.
Jim Montgomery.
It was the previous coach.
Yes.
Okay, so
unprofessional conduct. December 2019.
And it's Rick Bowness now.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So they bring him in and they did perfectly fine and they made it all the way to the Stanley Cup final. Right? So, I mean, the Panthers will be good or bad because they're good or bad. I
think they're more of a story now, though. They are, like, not that they weren't before. This is a story. But tell me that's not one of the more interesting things that you've ever seen ever in the NHL. We've never, ever seen this before.
No, it absolutely is. It absolutely is. I had someone snidely tweet me because now we're having the ghosts of our season previews.
Oh, yeah.
Coming back to haunt us. And someone's like, not bad for a team with no depth, huh?
Is that what you said?
I think I said I questioned their depth. I also picked them to win the division, okay? So let's maybe get off my back. It's true. We looked at their third line and went, it's not as good as their fourth line. Like, what's going on here? But look at them. They're, what is it, 7-0-1?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're really, I said they would win the division. So I'm right. Blackhawks over Blues is one that we all wear. That was a bit tough.
Collectively, we are wearing that currently.
Yeah, I don't. Did you have that as well? I feel like
the Blues.
Yeah, I had the Blues like 6th in the division.
I think I had them 5th.
And they're like one of the best teams.
Can we also talk about, we didn't get the chance to last week, but I got 80 billion tweets after the Jordan Binnington thing where he swung his stick at Nazem Kadri.
He's an idiot.
And Kadri got penalized.
Yeah. Nazem Kadri's going to serve his suspension too. What if Nazem Kadri swung his stick like that?
He'd be gone.
If any player with skates on and not like gigantic pads on swung their stick like that,
yeah, he doesn't even have to serve his penalty. Like it's
but he
insane.
didn't get. If anybody had done that, not just Nas, anybody had swung their stick like that, they're getting suspended.
Jordan Binnington is the number one reason Kyle Clifford is on the St. Louis Blues. Because if one day a player confetti gloves and mauls Jordan Binnington, will anyone be shocked?
Well, no, but he keeps asking. Like, at what point does his own team go, I guess he wants it? like you can't.
That's a bad.
You can't go around swinging your stick and fake punching guys. And then go. You know what? You guys clean up my mess. That's fucking bullshit.
No,
that's you know what you saw what the Flames did to Matt Tkachuk last year. At least Matt Tkachuk can clean up his own mess. Jordan Binnington's like, here's a bunch of dynamite. All right, I'm walking away now.
I understand what you're saying.
No, let him have it. Let him.
No, 100 times out of 100 you have to.
Where's Ron Hextall? Could somebody put Ron Hextall back in his Flyers pads, which were the size of a textbook? They were very tiny. Let's get him back out there, and then we'll see 2 goalies go at it.
Because I don't think he really wants it. I thought the Flyers got out of Ray Emery's way when he fought Andrew Peters because Emery won.
Right.
He really
Binnington just knows he'll never get suspended, so he's fucking with people, which I guess I can kind of respect that. I can respect. It's like the Marchand thing. No one's going to do anything, so I can lick a guy. It'll be cool.
And like at the end of the day, like let's go through Binnington's transgressions in recent years. Has he actually done anything? Has he put his hands on anyone?
No.
He's fake punched. He's stick swung.
Are you telling me Jordan Binnington's winning here? He's winning in this argument.
I think he's doing... Like, this is all on purpose. This isn't him seeing red mist. This is him on purpose being a dick and trying to get guys off their game.
It's working.
And he throws Nazem Kadri in the box. And I mean, that sure feels intentional, doesn't it?
Sure does.
I'm going to go for the guy guaranteed to take a penalty here because his reputation goes before him. He literally did nothing, poor Naz. Like,
yeah, he didn't do anything.
He didn't do anything. He didn't. I wonder how much.
I mean... He is wearing those terrible blue pants that they're wearing.
They're so bad.
So I think that is a crime.
Who, Colorado's?
Yeah, Colorado should be penalized for that alone.
Colorado fan, I need you to understand this, by the way, because I think Avs fans are under the impression that Nazem Kadri's reputation is 100% his fault, and it's not. It's only about 90. The other 10% goes to Leaf fans, who I started doing a bit on LFR. Called Nazem Kadri Bob Ross, because Bob Ross, famous for his arts, and I said Nazem Kadri drew penalties like an artist.
He did.
And he did.
For a bit.
And then people started to post his stats, like his penalty differential stats, and people started to write about it. I think it was Thomas Drance talking about Kadri and his little shoulder shimmy that he does in order to draw hooking penalties. He's not a diver. But he is kind of an embellisher. And there was one moment while Babcock was still the Leafs head coach where refs went, all right, we're never calling a penalty ever again. Like, you can do whatever you want today. It's open season on Nazem Kadri. Fuck with them all you want.
That is true.
And Babcock literally had to come out and go, this is getting a little ridiculous. Remember that?
Yeah.
There was a crazy compilation. And this is where, refs are human and petty and assholes, because they were literally like, all right, you made a fool of us for several years, and everyone can hack and slash and hook you and trip you all they want.
Well, and my counter
he's
to
never
them
shaken it.
No, he hasn't.
He's never shaken it.
My counter to them would be stop game managing and just call the game.
Yeah. Hey, here's a suggestion. Do your fucking job.
Yeah.
Do your fucking job. You're not special. All right? Thanks. You're not special. You're not the subject of the game. And if you are the subject of the game, how about you answer some questions after the fucking game? Oh, you're never going to do that? Shut the fuck up and call the game. You babies. You absolute babies. Now, I'm not talking about what's going on in like youth hockey now.
Babies, you absolute babies.
They're babies. I'm not talking about what's going on in youth hockey.
No, where parents are like accosting a teenage referee.
Yes.
Yeah, no.
That's horrible. Obviously. No wonder no one wants to do it. And maybe I'm contributing to that right now. No wonder no one wants to do it. But with Kadri,
it's a little different when you're getting paid $20 a game versus $120,000 a year.
The treatment of Nazem Kadri, who is no longer a Leaf, is very clearly targeted by NHL officials. Statement fact. There it is. I don't have anything to add to that. Yeah. Why?
Man.
Why? Because they're babies. That's why. Babies.
I have to tell you, I wanted to be a ref really bad when I was a kid.
That makes so much sense.
Well, no, because it paid so well.
Adam Wilde is a cop.
You got paid like super well. Like I think you were, and this is when I was making $6.40 minimum wage at Shoppers Drug Mart. You got paid $20 an hour to ref a game in like house league hockey.
I remember our friend
amazing.
Sean.
Oh yeah,
he refed everything.
The refs were like loaded, and you
cleaned up. Yeah,
and once you got in, there was no shortage of games. But getting in was really fucking hard. And I remember, I don't even know why. I probably just gave up because I was lazy, to be honest with you. But now I guess they're like dying to get people in the door.
Yeah,
because A, it was really hard, rightfully so. You should have some standards. B, parents suck. They suck.
And grandparents. Our high school friend Sean was the first person to ever tell me this chirp. He said this sweet old lady was like, "Hey, ref."
Oh no.
Ref, are you pregnant? He goes, "What? No." She goes, "You just missed 3 periods. You sure you're not pregnant?"
Oh my
Holy
God.
shit. Nana said that?
She was like, he said she was like in her 60s or 70s. yeah.
That's
Yo.
a good chirp.
So like a 16-year-old boy.
It's still a good chirp.
Yo, Agnes,
Fair
chill
enough.
the fuck out.
Yeah.
Holy.
I mean, I tell that because we both had a really hard laugh about it because we were high school students.
Wow.
But yeah,
Oh, God.
he had to deal with that.
Wow.
He had to
My
deal with that.
God.
I know that's like a pretty common one these days, but I had never heard it back then.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm sure he gave it back. Heard better chirps on a
People-
dead bird.
People need to not take their kids' sports so seriously.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
there's there's literally nothing on the line.
You can lose and learn something. You can lose and learn something.
Yeah, I lost lots.
Yeah. And
my
look at me now.
soccer games. And look at me now. I talk about perennial losers. I won too.
Yeah.
I have trophies.
Yeah, for sure.
I have trophies for every year, but I have trophies for when we won, and they're bigger.
Yeah, that was the thing, right?
yeah, everybody gets a
We were
trophy.
right in
Everyone,
that.
yeah, participant trophies.
We didn't have that. I was just on the end of that where everybody started to get trophies, and like you could see the kids that got them were like, "What the hell is this?"
Yeah.
Like everybody gives kids a hard time. Kids know when they didn't win.
What was the illusion parents thought were? Here it is, my 5th place trophy.
I
Like,
came
no-
here and
Yeah.
showed up.
Yeah.
Please,
No,
someone cut that.
like-
Please, someone cut that. Please clip that.
Don't do that, please.
Definitely do it. Definitely do
Nah,
it.
like 12, you're still pissed at losing. Like,
yeah.
Fuck
you want
yeah.
you're going
I
out
knew
there to
when we
win.
lost.
Oh
Yeah,
my
yeah.
god, I hated it. But that was the point,
Yeah.
right?
The worst was being on the worst team in the league. Like I was on a mediocre team one year, and then 2 guys got suspended for the whole season because it was like a no stakes house league or whatever, and they played rep,
Oh no.
which you weren't allowed to do. So then they took them off our team that wasn't that great to begin with, and we were dog shit.
Oh yeah.
We were so bad, and it was like we would show up every Saturday or whatever it was, just hey. And we would show up like, let's take our sustained beating and go home. It would like lose 8-0.
we had
like,
that-
Oh, it's awful.
We had that in house league once too. So it was me and my friend Alex, who Steve is very good friends with, and
Yeah.
Alex played Double A and played. I remember going to see Alex's game when he played Wayne Simmons, when Wayne Simmons was playing
my
Double A.
God.
And I'll tell you this: Alex was a very good hockey player. Wayne Simmons made everybody look like he was standing still.
Yeah.
Like he was unbelievable even then. But Alex came back, and because we were buddies, we wanted to play together. So they look at him in house league when they're evening out the teams. They're like, well, this fucking kid's from Double A. So we're going to take everybody, because they do it like an evening out after the preseason.
Right.
And they took everybody away, and it was just me and Alex.
So they would take someone like me and put me on your team.
Yeah, we were the only
this
players.
kid's garbage. So
We were the only players that had played above house league.
oh no.
And there were a lot of kids on our team that just could not skate. And it was getting to that point where that really starts to matter. Like when you're 7 or 8 years old, it doesn't matter that much. But when you're 14, it's like you're being shorthanded every shift.
Yeah.
And so they had to bring this kid down from, he was the leading scorer in the 16 age bracket. And they brought him down to even out our team, and we still fucking lost. And he scored like 8 goals a game.
Oh my god.
We just handed it to him, and he would come in, and his name was Gord. Gord just came in and ripped it up like a true Gord, and we were terrible. We were so bad. And you're not waking up at a fun time.
No.
You're waking up at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, and you're going to a cold arena, and you're getting your ass handed to you. And it doesn't matter how hard you try. There's no coming out of it. It's tough.
Yeah. No, the best part of a couple of seasons of soccer for me was the orange slices. We were so shit.
Jesse, I'm assuming that being a AAA baseball player, you never had a bad season.
Our team was I played in the Mississauga baseball system. So like I played on the Twins. Anybody from Mississauga would know that. I played in the Twins little organization. Our team was pretty good every summer. So yeah, I don't think I had like an awful summer. Like we were fairly good.
Are you surprised by that?
No.
Yeah.
Not at all. Yeah.
Like even at anything. Like just imagine Jesse losing at anything he tries.
We didn't. We were never like a championship team. We won a couple tournaments and stuff, but we were also always decent, where it was competitive each time.
You could play.
It was
At least if you're in the game.
yeah. We were a fairly good team every summer.
Just
We had a
I just
good
can't
little
picture him
organization.
failing. Like, this guy's like, he could just be like, yeah, I don't know, I'm going to try this medical thing, and then you're like the Surgeon General within 5 years. I believe it.
Yeah, Jesse and his sister are quite successful at whatever the heck they do. So I believe it. Yeah. Anyway, anyway, long story short, I think going back to the refs and the Jordan Binnington stuff.
Oh yeah.
You know what? I'm glad we had this conversation because I looked at that and I said, what the fuck? And then I realized, I'm like, man, he's just doing the Brad Marchand and it's working. So like, props to him. You got to give props to Brad Marchand.
And that's extracurricular for a goalie.
Yeah.
You know,
he's involved in the play.
That's extra credit.
What? Fine.
You didn't have to do that.
Plus, Blues fans are just loving this, especially with us.
Shouldn't they be?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I don't know. It's funny. One Blues fan was like, well, you know what? At least you admit you're wrong. And I was like, imagine doubling down a bit. No. Actually, no. The Blues, who look like the best team in the league, are garbage. I thought they would look like how they looked last year, which was garbage. They don't. There it is. I don't know. I don't understand why you have to be right. I've never understood that.
It would be a weird thing when all the evidence points towards something else and you come on here and you start yelling about how, no, the Coyotes are the best team in the league.
Here's something you rarely hear. I did my own research and was wrong.
I came to a conclusion that I was happy about based on what I know and what I looked up, and it turned out to be incorrect.
Did my own research about the Blues.
Are you guys, do you think you'll ever be able to sleep again?
I do.
Yeah. Sound.
Why?
It's funny when you do those predictions because you're inevitably going to get somebody's wrong, right? So people will tweet you and be like, hey, how you feeling about that?
How you feeling about that?
And you're like, I don't know. Like,
I didn't think I was going to go 32-0, guys. Like, I would love it. Imagine how great I would look.
It would be a one-time thing, though. You'd never do it again.
Yeah.
Even if you did go 32-0.
I mean, Nate Silver was amazing, and people still think he's a schmuck.
Yeah.
Because 100%. He was really good at something for a while and then stopped being as good at it.
I think that's it for what I got in terms of the lineup. So why don't we get into the press conference?
The Presser. SDP. The Steve Dangle Press Conference.
I would like to shout out the sweater that I'm wearing. Dangle Navy, stpn.ca. I said that it fits me like a boyfriend sweater, and I've never had a boyfriend sweater. Because I'm shaped very strange, and all my sweaters are like short on me, and this one is just a little big, and it just reminds me of him when he's gone.
Yeah, that one in particular, that one and the no sweater are both champion sweaters. That one's a champion sweater. They're built very comfy. Those are some good ass hoodies.
This is it's nice. I could comfortably wear a long sleeve under it to stay extra cozy.
I like that.
You know?
We should make an announcement today. We're adding to our staff.
Oh, is that today?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
We're talking about it today. So who would like to make the announcement? Jesse?
Oh, go ahead.
Okay.
I'll do it.
Go ahead.
Robert Malloy.
Yay! Now, if anybody that doesn't know Robert, how would you know Robert?
Robert does everything.
He does everything. But start with what he actually does.
The captions for my LFR videos, and then with us, Robert is going to be. Do we have a title?
Community manager.
He's community manager. He mods our game over live streams. He mods my Twitch streams, and then he is a general manager on our Discord. He runs the whole thing and controls all the mods over there. He's
done an unbelievable job. With little to no resources, and this is the joy of being in a startup: is your company is literally broke all the time.
Sportsnet even hired him to help.
Did they?
With he did he did producer Drew's job on Saturday.
Well,
with the chat.
That's amazing. Robert is immensely talented. We're immensely proud to be working with him. And if you do get to want to shout him out, RS_Malloy, MOLLOY. You can check him out on obviously on our Discord channel. He's on everything all the time. Every time I post on Discord, Robert shoots me a text like, "Hey, just checking in." He's on it. So we're so happy to be working with him, bringing him onto the SDPN family. Hopefully more to come, but we got some work to do first behind the scenes, and there are other announcements. I know there are more announcements Wednesday
regarding
Well,
you gotta give me something. What's happening?
I love this game because I in the same moment that you are, everybody go, okay, what's this one? Because I don't remember.
This time it's not a show. Although we do have more shows coming. We are workshopping things, screen testing things. It's all happening. But this one has more to do with the consumption of SDPN. As we move forward and as we get bigger and as we grow the products and we have more shows for you to watch, we want watch and listen to, of course, because that's always going to be the mantra. We want to be able to hear and see. And hopefully get to the point where we can close caption everything. But right now, that's just a little out of the budget at the moment.
And smell eventually.
And smell it.
If
we want you to
Zuckerberg
smell.
gets his way with this metaverse.
Oh, that's right. He wants you to smell stuff.
We'll be broadcasting all of our episodes and our shows in the metaverse.
There it is.
Yeah,
actually,
he has bad friends. I'm just going to come out and say.
I don't think he has any.
Yeah. Friends. What? Anyway.
Shut up, Mark.
I just want to say I'm very, very excited for this. And I would say that this has mostly to do with Jesse Blake and his unbelievable skill set.
I'll just say it. The podcast is now only available. We signed an exclusive deal with Zune. So every time you want to listen to it, you have to purchase a brand new Zune device.
Zune?
You can't get a new one. You have to get one off eBay.
Every episode you have to get a new Zune. You have to order it from their website.
Which doesn't exist because they don't make Zunes anymore.
No, it's Zune.shop and
.sportsnet.
.store.
.store, yeah.
And you order the new Zune device every time there's a new podcast. So you have to purchase 3 new Zunes a week.
Common comes to your house and gives it to you on purpose. He hands it to you. Remember, he did the whole Zune paid for his Universal Mind Control video, and the Zune is in it.
Oh, I don't.
It's one of my favorite Common songs, and he's the Zune is like a prominent feature in it, kind of like Beats headphones and stuff.
Common signing with Zune that's a little too on brand.
It was 2010, maybe. It was a long time ago.
But anyway, I don't think the Zune was.
Long story short,
that's way too late.
Long story short. What I want to say is this: we're very excited about this particular thing. It should be kind of the next step in what SDPN is going to be. And then, as we said, as the days and weeks and months go on, we've got more shows to bring. It's just, you would not believe how much effort it takes to get a podcast off the ground.
Too much.
Not too much. Just
too much.
Just a lot.
No, you're right. We should stop.
All right, Jesse, questions.
And tomorrow you have a show with Alan Walsh.
That's correct.
That's going to drop in the afternoon. That's going to be kind of crucial, and there's going to be a lot of great information.
That's right. I guess I should have mentioned that. Yeah. So Glenn Healy from the NHL Alumni Association is going to be on. And one of the things that we are going to talk about, the only thing that we're going to talk about, given what's happening now, it's particularly relevant. We're going to be talking about the 10-day player strike at the end of 1992, which a lot of people forget. And it's important that you understand what was going on. Glenn tells some pretty incredible stories in this. But what I love the most about this is when they decided that they were going to go on strike, the players were going to go on strike, and the reasons why will be contained within. He showed up to the midday skate for the New York Islanders at Maple Leaf Gardens because they were in Toronto, of course. And management said, you don't deserve to wear those jerseys. So what did they do? I'll leave it with that. Did they get on the ice? I think you need to watch. And it's particularly important. I know this is really important to Alan because players today have no idea. And it sounds like, oh, players today have no idea. But it truly, they have no idea where the PA came from and why this 10-day strike specifically was so important to where they are today. The reason that the NHLPA even looks like it does today, the reason it can even fund itself like it does today, is because of what happened in 1992. And frankly, the sacrifices made by Gretzky and Lemieux at that time as well. They factor into this story. It's quite spectacular. Stuff that you've never heard before.
I didn't even know there was a 10-day strike.
Exactly. Yeah. So. Neither did I. Alan messaged me. He messages me stuff sometimes, and he's like, "Hey, do you know this?" And I'm like, "I have been a fan of hockey for 30 years. I do not know if I've ever heard of that." And that's the thing. His depth. This is why I wanted to do the show with him so bad. His depth of knowledge of stuff like this that matters to today, that happened before. Like, Alan wants players to hear this. He wants his guys to hear. He wants everybody to hear this because it matters to what is happening now in labor dispute discussions, and of course with what we've seen recently with the NHLPA. So all of this matters. It's gonna be very fascinating.
God, what a good network! So good.
Thank you for reminding me, Jesse.
No problem. The show is incredible because, like you were saying, just history, it repeats itself, and you need to learn from history.
Yes.
And this is something that a lot of hockey fans don't know, especially
Today's
guys
players.
in the game.
Today's players need to learn from this episode.
So whether Fear gets fired today or not is irrelevant to that show.
Well, yeah, but no matter what happens, it's still relevant.
Oh yeah,
that's what I mean.
Yeah,
like
there is a connection.
Will not alter the show.
No.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
No, it's like, well, he got fired. Doesn't matter anymore.
Well, can't upload it.
We actually called it the Don Fear is super good at his job show.
Yes.
And Glenn Healy just sat there and talked about Don Fear and how great he is. No, that's not what happened. So
he comes up a lot in the show. It's really good.
He does.
So I'll ask a question from our press conference questions channel on our Discord server. If you're not a member of our Discord, head over to sdpn.ca, get the link there, and join us. Over 8,000 people are on our Discord. So this question comes from Zero Effort. I think this is a Steve special. So I don't know if Adam has any hope in answering this.
Okay, go ahead, Steve.
Asking who the two Coyote goalies were in this game against the Hurricanes would be pretty tough trivia question, I reckon. That's from Zero Effort. So Steve, who were the two Coyotes goalies on their roster when they played the Hurricanes on, I believe, Saturday?
This season?
Do you know?
I think their goalie, who has essentially become their starter, I want to say is Kirill It's like Velmelka. I have a stuffy nose, and it's actually really difficult to say.
Well done.
That's amazing.
And I guess the other goalie wasn't Carter Hutton.
It was not.
Okay, so then is it Joseph Coronar?
It is not.
He is on the Coyotes though, isn't he?
I
think he is.
Maybe.
Oh, dude, I have no idea.
He is on the Coyotes, yeah. He's in the minors though. It was an emergency loan that the Coyotes enacted.
So but it's a professional player, like it's not.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's a gentleman by the name of Ivan Prosvetov.
Never heard of that person in my entire life.
No,
who was their most recent team? Prosvetov, yeah.
Ivan Prosvetov. He was their emergency goalie on loan.
And he is. Oh, he's a Coyotes draft pick.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, he's got pro in his name. So
hey, you see.
Oh, he's played an NHL game before.
Yeah.
He played 3 games last year and was an 8-2-4. And this year he's an 8-2-1 in his one game.
Allowed 5 goals.
He's good in Tucson this year. Holy man, he was bad last year though. Oh dear. Oh dear. I was like, oh, those numbers are good. No, ECHL. Okay.
He's good up there. In the OHL. In the Saginaw Spirit. All right, let me ask another question.
Oh boy. Whoa.
I thought that was a fun one. Congrats on getting the starting goalie.
They could be a top 10 offensive team in the league and lose every game.
Adam, this one's for you.
Uh-oh.
Bright One is coming for your neck.
Oh, it's always see? Maybe you were right. Maybe I do get picked on.
Why? It might be the little Adam Wild bubble universe. But this one comes from Bright One. Question for Adam. So with Tampa being subpar so far this year, what's your opinion on Steven Stamkos so far, considering you currently think he's not a good 5-on-5 player, but he leads the team in points with 12 points in 8 games? Sorry, I don't know how many of those are PP points. Also important to note that Braden Point has 5 points in the same amount of games.
Can you take a back seat?
Yeah.
Can I defend my friend?
No.
Sorry, I don't know the most relevant piece of information to the point I'm trying to make. But Adam, you're a fucking idiot.
Let Adam answer.
What if the answer is all 12 are on the power play and you didn't know that? Adam's looking it up right now.
It's also not a hard thing to look up.
No, it's super not.
It's the first result on Google.
So he would still, were it not for the power play, he would still have 8 points in 8 games. He would have
okay.
So he has 4 PP
He'd have
points.
2 goals and he would have 6 assists.
Mm-hmm.
So a good start.
Is he a minus player? I'd be curious.
He's a minus player right now.
You're joking.
No, he's a -2.
Oh wow!
Despite having 8 even strength points.
Now he's shooting slightly above average to date. He shoots at a 17% career. He's shooting at a 20 right now.
That's unbelievable.
1 in every 5 shots going in.
Some guys are just higher.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. Listen, him and Crosby I expect Steven Stamkos to be in that range. I get it. Listen, what I was going on when I said it was what he played like in the playoffs last year, which was a non-option outside of the third line, and a great power play player.
And like,
am I wrong?
Non-option is aggressive.
Outside of the third line, you couldn't put him on the first 2 lines. I mean, it was a great team, but great teams win cups.
He did play on the top 2 lines.
Not at center.
I know, but it was like ineffectual, not great. And that's because like he's 31 and I'm 33. Yikes. But like Stevens, what did he snap his leg in half? Mm-hmm. Like I'm glad that he's back. I'm glad that he's scoring. When you go to the season preview episode, it's like, what's the most recent example I can pull from?
We got to go into dog years for a second here, because Stamkos at 31 is a grandpa, and us at 33 and Jesse 30. Are you 30 yet?
30 in April.
So 29. We are little baby children
in broadcasting
whatever.
Yeah.
But we're also YouTube. See, we're not even YouTube old anymore, because like
we're YouTube
H3
old.
but H3 is all gray haired, and like when Logan Paul turns 30, you're gonna be like, all right, it's a little weird that you assault people on the street when you're drunk. Like that happened a couple days ago, and I didn't see anybody talk about it.
Well, it's expected. I think sometimes.
I think we're YouTube old, because like there's already been like 10 years worth of YouTube guys who are like old now.
We're Snapchat old. Too old for Snapchat.
You know what? I'm okay with that.
Yeah, and I was
never good.
Thing.
I have to be honest with you. You guys know this about me. I was never good at being young.
That's true. That is true.
I was not good at being
never.
Young. This is like when I was out with Everly yesterday. I never wanted, just as a heads up, I never like aspired to be a parent. But now that I am, it's pretty much the greatest thing that's ever happened to me. And I have to say that I loved the hell out of. I hate Halloween. I loved it last night. It was amazing. So much fun.
You always used to say old shit.
It's fall, which means football season is in full swing. And for many of us, there's no better way to enjoy the games than by having a little skin in the game. A little skin. Which is why BetMGM remains the exclusive betting partner of The Athletic. As a fan of The Athletic, you can bet $10 and win $150 plus a free 3-month subscription or extension to your subscription for people who are already subscribed, like moi, with The Athletic when you bet MGM and use the promo code. Just sign up at BetMGM.com and use the promo code TheAthleticPod at checkout. That's it. Got the special offer, the King of Sportsbook, $10 to win $150 plus 3 months free at The Athletic or a subscription extension. It's BetMGM.com using the promo code TheAthleticPod at checkout. It's a new customer offer. Visit BetMGM.com for all the terms and conditions.
21 years of age or older to wager. Arizona, Colorado, Washington, D.C., Indiana, Iowa, Michigan, New Jersey, Nevada, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, and West Virginia only. Excludes Michigan disassociated persons. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP in Arizona, 1-800-522-4700 in Colorado, Washington, D.C., Nevada, Wyoming, and Virginia, 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help in Michigan, 1-800-GAMBLER in Maryland, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and West Virginia, 1-800-BETS-OFF in Iowa. Call or text the Tennessee Red Line 800-889-9789 in Tennessee, or call 1-800-9-WITH-IT in Indiana.
Next question.
This question's from Femi. It just says, talk about Scotty Barnes, and I will. Here is a tweet from Josh Eberle. Scotty Barnes in his first 6 games, 17.7 points per game, 8.3 rebounds, 2.2 assists. LeBron James in his first 6 games, 16.8 points, 7.7 rebounds, 7 assists. He's unbelievable. We got a star in Toronto, Scotty Barnes, and he's in a perfect
People
place.
wanted Jalen Suggs, right?
Yeah. He went to the Magic.
Because
he's been okay.
Right? He's a really high talent. But here's the thing with Scotty Barnes, and it was obvious before he ever played a game with the Raptors. Mm-hmm. Masai Ujiri and Bobby Webster and that whole group drafted a Raptor.
Mm-hmm.
He's a Raptor. You talk about great fits.
He's not a player. He's a Raptor. Yeah.
He's a Raptor. He could go somewhere else and have some success, but that's a Raptor. They drafted a guy who is everything this team aspires to be and is.
And plays with a lot of joy.
Yeah.
Plays with a lot of joy. He matches the city so well. I love it. He's going to be one of the most popular athletes, if not the most, in this city in very short order.
Yeah, and for a long time, because the way the NBA contracts work, he'll be here for like 5 years. It's a good time.
Oh, we like
and like Suggs would have been just as successful in the Raptors system because the Raptors have a whole bunch of great vets and they're a good team. They're a solid team, but like Scotty fits on and off the court in a way that Suggs wouldn't.
He doesn't. Suggs doesn't have the magnetism that Scotty Barnes has. Scotty Barnes is like he's got a big smile and a really warm personality. Brings you in. He's fun.
Have you seen the video of Masai and everyone's reaction to when they drafted Scotty Barnes? It was their reaction to his reaction, and like he jumps up and he's like like he's really happy about it. And you see the relief in the room because not everyone's happy to get drafted here.
And the rumor is that Suggs tanked his interview with the Raptors so that he would fall a little.
And that's why you don't.
Oh, then
why would you ever draft that player?
He got booed on, I think it was Saturday.
Is that true?
When the game came. He was at the free throw line and the Scotiabank Arena was chanting, Barnes is better.
Wow.
That's the 3 and the 4 pick, right?
So that's his line.
So yeah, that's his line because the rumor is that he tanked the interview. I don't know if it's true. That's just what people speculate.
All right, so that wraps it for today. Don't forget, Chris Johnson show coming out. And then tomorrow, obviously, Agent Provocateur with Alan Walsh, new release. And then we will be back Wednesday, Podcast-a-palooza.
Shout out Robert Malloy. Welcome to the team.
Woo!
The Steve Dangle Podcast. Follow the guys on Twitter at Steve_Dangle, at Adam WYLDE, and at Jesse Blake. Connection complete.